minutes, I can be mad enough at you to think that I could leave.
Robyn didn't forget their trailer days. She just pretended they never happened.
So the owners of my rental house have decided to sell it.
In season 14, episode 8, Robyn shares that the home she's currently renting is being put on the market, and she must find a new place to live.
Sweetie, I've already lived in a trailer.
Cody suggests they just move a single-wide trailer onto Coyote Pass as a temporary solution. Robyn immediately shuts it down with, "Nope, sorry, done that. Do you realize how cold a single-wide gets?"
We all lived in trailers.
Yeah, we all lived in them.
Robyn.
Listen, it'd be
really?
temporary.
Okay,
And just like that, the rest of the wives look at her like, really? They all remind her. They've all lived in a single-wide before, together. It's practically a core part of their family origin story. This isn't new information. Robyn was right there during every recap and conversation where the family talked about their early days, living in a trailer and scraping by.
I didn't know that you guys have lived in trailers.
Yeah, no, when we were all no.
Yet here she is, acting brand new, like this is some shocking, unacceptable suggestion. 8 or 9 years into the marriage, suddenly it's beneath her? She's not just out of touch, she's rewriting history in real time. This moment is part of a larger pattern. Robyn consistently centers herself in every situation. Whether it's hardship, knowledge, or sacrifice, her experience is always worse, her insights always deeper, her needs always more urgent. She often talks about coming from poverty, no crib, no heat, just struggle, but somehow has the most expensive taste in everything from homes to furniture. And while Cody is fully responsible for his own decisions, Robyn has clearly learned how to influence him. The idea to place a double-wide on Coyote Pass wasn't just thrown out there. It was a viable, cost-effective plan.
The batteries aren't charged?
Yeah, the solar didn't charge. I don't know, maybe because of the smoke.
Cody even said he'd stay there overnight, and both Janelle and Savannah supported the idea, despite the inconvenience of no water during the day. But Robyn refused, complained, pushed back, and just like that, the plan dissolved.
I think we were thinking this is what we were going to do. We can sell the houses and put it right into building property.
Instead of pooling resources into building on the land, money was redirected toward finding Robyn another rental. Her discomfort took precedence, as it often does. The irony? Her resistance actively delayed the family's progress on Coyote Pass, something she claimed to care deeply about. In the end, her refusal to adapt didn't just hurt the group, it hurt her goals too. A perfect example of self-sabotage dressed up as practicality. Robyn didn't want her kids accepted. She wanted them idolized.
And then it blew up into this whole thing about, well, you've always treated us so badly. I'm so tired of working on this.
It's honestly incredible how Robyn has managed to rewrite the entire family history regarding how her children were treated. When she spiritually married Cody, her kids were 10, 8, and 6. And from everything shown,
running on this back lawn and backyard and everything's connected, and they'll finally.
Those kids were right in the middle of things. Playing, hugging, opening gifts. They weren't outsiders, they were fully included.
I'm pretty sure I saw some punching and fighting for those candies.
There was even a moment when one of the boys hit one of her daughters. If anything, that was a sign they were being treated like family. That kind of roughhousing wasn't exclusion, it was normal behavior in a big, blended family.
Welcome to the Brown family production of The Nativity Scene.
For years, all the kids blended as one loud, wild, affectionate group. So to hear Robyn now claim her kids were treated like outcasts from the beginning is nothing short of revisionist fiction.
They were apart from the very beginning, and I didn't know that.
What's worse is that her children seem to believe it. She and Cody have cast themselves as victims, and the only way their actions make sense is by rewriting the past to suit the narrative.
And so I think he's kind of looking at me going, are you going to reject me too?
Robyn's insecurities have become a feedback loop that Cody feeds right into. He avoids responsibility and deflects blame onto everyone else. If Robyn ever stopped and spoke with the rest of the family, she'd see that most of the major decisions were Cody's alone. But instead of reaching out, she retreated.
Dad and I have decided our kids aren't going to do the gift exchange anymore.
distancing herself and her children from the rest of the family and painting a picture of rejection. That downward spiral didn't start recently. Robyn has been slipping for a while. Her behavior reflects someone emotionally overwhelmed, possibly untreated for deeper issues.
When I started getting kickback, I just went, why am I trying here?
Ironically, her children didn't seem to feel excluded until the COVID era. That's when the real divide began. While other family members made efforts, dropping off gifts, visiting from a distance, Robyn's household stayed apart. Rather than fostering connection, she isolated her family and used it as a wedge. And that's likely when the narrative began: if they cared, they'd follow the rules. It became a convenient excuse to label any disagreement or boundary as rejection. Her children, caught in the middle, were fed a steady stream of emotional manipulation disguised as concern. The root of it seems simple. Robyn didn't feel liked by the other wives. Instead of addressing that directly, she began convincing her kids that the rest of the family didn't like them. Her discomfort became their story. It's understandable why she didn't form close bonds with the other wives. Her behavior didn't exactly invite friendship. But instead of owning her part in that, she redirected the fallout onto her children. What's especially frustrating is the selective outrage over the idea that her children were bullied or excluded, while ignoring that all the kids had to adjust. The original 13 children were suddenly expected to accept 3 new siblings, watch them call their father dad, and adapt to a completely changed family dynamic, all without complaint. There was no pause to consider how they felt or what they were giving up. It wasn't just about acceptance. Robyn wanted her children given special treatment. She saw them as extensions of herself, so any criticism or resistance toward them felt like a personal attack. That reaction likely ties back to her own childhood, growing up feeling like an outsider. But instead of helping her children navigate this blended family with empathy, she framed everything through her own lens of hurt.
And the other kids started mocking them and dismissing them.
In this family, acceptance meant being teased, argued with, and told no. It wasn't always easy, but it was real. The original kids were used to that world. Robyn's children, on the other hand, weren't. They were used to getting their way and didn't respond well when that didn't work.
We're never going to want to have our own families because this was such a horrible experience. And I'm like, whoa.
That clash made them come across as entitled. And understandably, not everyone responded warmly
to us. Like it just spiraled. It just was insanity.
Ultimately, Robyn wasn't asking for her children to be accepted. She expected them to be treated as royalty. And when that didn't happen, she built a story where she and her kids were the victims, everyone else the villains, and history became whatever version suited her best. He banned pork in Hawaii, but served bacon at home. That's not religion, that's manipulation. There was that unforgettable moment when Truly had her birthday party at the McMansion, complete with a grand total of 6 pieces of chicken for 9 people. The guest list: Cody, Robyn, Dayton, Aurora, Brianna, Isabel, Truly, Solomon, and Ariella.
We get 1 plate per person?
Like 3 tacos
or
per
is
person.
it?
Somehow, 6 servings were meant to feed 9. Clearly, portion planning was not a priority. To balance out the protein shortage, there were baked potatoes with toppings, including bacon bits.
And these are dates wrapped in bacon and stuffed with gorgonzola.
Yes, actual bacon. This from the same household where the father figure once threatened to go hungry in Hawaii because pork was being served. Apparently, dietary restrictions are situational. It's a perfect illustration of the do as I say, not as I do philosophy. The inconsistency between professed values and actual behavior is glaring, especially considering the uproar that unfolded over the mere presence of pork on vacation. More troubling is the pattern this represents. Cody's ideological stance has undergone a dramatic transformation over time.
And Jesus was Jewish. He was of Israel, and they observed a kosher diet.
He appears to adopt beliefs from various religions selectively, often to suit the moment. In this case, the pork prohibition seemed rooted in a misapplied interpretation of Jewish dietary law, though it's unclear whether he ever had a clear understanding of the tradition to begin with. The truth is, his connection to faith has been deteriorating for years. Despite claims to the contrary, his spiritual foundation has been eroding since before public attention ever entered the picture. It's the outcome of entering a highly controlling religious environment, not as a leader, but as someone chasing validation, especially from a father figure. The motivation, approval, and the illusion of authority that comes from being followed by multiple partners.
And they observed a kosher diet. And so he really felt like it was important to bring that part of our spirituality.
Religion became the justification, used when convenient, to prop up choices that often contradicted the values supposedly held. When that life didn't produce the spiritual fulfillment he expected, he began borrowing from whatever religious idea gave him leverage. But there was no peace in it, no consistency, and certainly no theological depth.
In the end, none of it truly mattered to him. The ideology, the structure, the spiritual claims, they've all shifted depending on what served his interests. What remains is not conviction, but control dressed up as doctrine. And the consequences of that instability have been deeply harmful to the family he claimed to lead. This whole move was never about the kids. It was about control.
We had to make a plan. And now you're saying, no, now.
It kind of freaks me out.
Cody suddenly announces that the family has to leave Las Vegas within 3 months due to financial reasons.
We made a huge gamble leaving Las Vegas to move here to Flagstaff.
Robyn, appearing surprised, quickly adds how much she dislikes Vegas, almost as if the decision had already been made. Soon after, Cody and Robyn are in Flagstaff, a place they randomly visit and instantly adore. Cody takes Christine on a trip to Flagstaff, presenting it as a romantic getaway while promoting the city as their future home. He becomes unusually affectionate, clearly trying to sell her on the move. He offers Mary a vision of a fresh start and renewed relationship, while Janelle seems to reluctantly go along with it all.
This is our last family get-together in the cul-de-sac. That's
It's
hard.
something momentous.
Yeah.
The emotional impact on the older children is ignored. They had finally settled into stable homes, built friendships, and created meaningful memories in Vegas, complete with tree dedications and handprints in concrete. Yet the decision was pushed through regardless. The priority was clearly ensuring that Cody and Robyn's vision played out, even at the expense of everyone else. Eventually, Cody and Robyn settle into a large new home and later a second mansion, while the rest of the family drifts further apart. Christine opts to purchase her own home in Flagstaff rather than rent, suggesting a need for security and independence, perhaps anticipating what was coming.
I don't even know how to say it to make it not sound like I'm just following.
Janelle had initially been firm about not relocating her children, particularly when they were still minors. Her eventual change of heart raises questions. The promised benefits of the move never materialized for her. Instead, she ended up entangled in legal efforts to recover her financial contributions. Christine's decision to buy a house in her own name proved wise, providing her with equity and an exit plan. There is speculation that Cody needed to be removed from the title of her home to qualify for a mortgage on Robyn's house, highlighting the financial juggling behind the scenes.
Matt and Caleb talked about going, Michelle and Logan talked about going, and Garrison talked about going. They all talked about going.
Flagstaff wasn't chosen at random. The timing conveniently aligned with Dayton's college plans at NAU. When the family later announces the move, Dayton's acceptance and enrollment are revealed, casting doubt on how spontaneous the move really was and whether that information was fully shared with the other wives early on. They had already left Lehigh abruptly years earlier. Now, just as the kids had rebuilt their lives in Vegas, they were uprooted again. The earlier promise of long-term stability was quickly abandoned. It seems clear that the move to Flagstaff served a narrow set of interests, regardless of the broader emotional or financial consequences. Robyn's not the victim. She's the architect of it all. In season 14, makes it unmistakably clear. Robyn and Cody had every intention of purchasing a home from the outset.
Right? We've got days. We're down to 5 days where we have to make an offer on a house.
With both Robyn's and Janelle's houses recently sold in Las Vegas, the urgency to secure a large, expensive property was high.
and they acted quickly to make it happen before the idea of buying gained traction among the rest of the family. Despite this, Robyn portrayed herself as a reluctant participant.
I feel like I'm betraying my whole family.
And we know there's great benefits to owning, even if it's...
She tearfully claimed that the decision to purchase could negatively affect her marriage to Cody, even though both of them were fully aligned behind the scenes. The emotional display was a performance, one designed to deflect criticism while moving forward with exactly what they had planned.
Interestingly,
The house that we're renting has been sold. We've only got 4 or 5 more weeks.
the house Robyn was renting at the time had been listed for rent in 2018 at $3,500 per month. By the following year, it was on the market for $975,000 and ultimately sold for $925,000. Regardless of timing, the eagerness to transition into a $1 million home was evident, despite the public facade of hesitation.
Cody even had mentioned, maybe we should buy, and I'm like, I do not want to buy.
Robyn's consistent tactic has been reverse psychology, expressing opposition to an idea she secretly wants, making it appear as though she's sacrificing or yielding to pressure. This creates the illusion of innocence and restraint while allowing her to benefit from the outcome. Meanwhile, Cody willingly assumes the role of the instigator, reinforcing her image as the sweet, passive spouse. In reality, the dynamic is far from innocent. From the beginning, Robyn has positioned herself as the gentle voice of reason while quietly maneuvering to get exactly what she wants.
We're late enough in the game that I'm praying for anything.
The act may be convincing, but the results speak for themselves. Don't fall for Robyn's confused act. It's not what it seems. Robyn has a clear pattern. Whenever she acts confused, it's her signature tell. Season 19, episode 16, makes that especially obvious.
15 minutes, I can be mad enough at you to think that I could leave.
During a conversation with Cody while riding quads, he tells her he's only been mad enough to leave her a few times and apologizes for saying it aloud.
You just haven't been yourself lately.
You're right, I haven't been myself.
Instantly, Robyn slips into her confused persona. The moment she shifts into that mode, Cody quickly backtracks, clearly realizing she didn't want that kind of honesty caught on camera. Their interactions in recent seasons come across as scripted and awkward, like poorly rehearsed scenes. Her confusion always seems to surface when things don't unfold the way she planned. Hurt, confused, and unsafe have become her trademark phrases for maintaining victim status.
To me, I was like, what is happening here? I am so confused.
Interestingly, one of the original wives even calls out Robyn's confusion in a confessional moment, suggesting it's far from genuine. As for Cody, his behavior aligns with narcissistic tendencies. It's common for narcissists to provoke conflict so they can justify dramatic exits or other behavior, like claiming a breakup happened so they could excuse stepping out.
He picks fights with me.
Why? I wanted to punish myself.
In season 18, Robyn mentions that Cody regularly picks fights and acts like someone going through a divorce. That kind of behavior sounds a lot like threats to leave or volatile, emotionally manipulative outbursts. Whether he's cheating or not is unclear, though maintaining secrecy would be difficult unless there's already someone behind the scenes. Narcissists who thrive on triangulation rarely settle for just one relationship. Robyn, however, would likely tolerate it. Her priority seems to be stability and financial security, especially the latter. They told the wives to stay sweet. What they really meant was stay silent. In season 8, episode 3, during a tense dinner table moment,
Because I started going, I'm not a bad husband.
Okay, I'm
not a bad guy.
Cody launches into a performance dripping with mock self-pity. "I'm not a bad husband. I'm not a bad guy," he says, as if reading lines from a bad soap opera. He tops it off with, "I was starting to blame myself," as though the idea were absurd and laughable.
It's like there's so much more going on with women than just their biology, and men are so quick.
Janelle, clearly unamused, later states bluntly in a couch interview, "I'm sick of women being reduced to their biological functions."
Before I completely lose my cool here, I'm just going to excuse myself from the situation.
She then quietly excuses herself from the table, a silent protest that spoke volumes. Given the tone of the conversation, Returning would have been unthinkable for anyone with self-respect. This scene highlights the years of emotional restraint many of the wives endured.
It was kind of like, if kids were fighting, you'd say, keep sweet. Like, stop, keep sweet, be kid.
In earlier seasons, confrontation was practically forbidden. Staying sweet was the unspoken rule, a way to keep the peace and maintain an image. Over time, that rule unraveled. Janelle eventually had her blow up with Cody during a Christmas argument.
So I just decided to pack up his stuff, and I put it all in the garage.
Christine took it a step further, packing up his belongings and moving them to the garage. Even so, practical decisions seemed to take precedence. After returning from a personal getaway, Janelle could have stepped away from the spotlight, even if she stayed in the marriage. But she didn't.
The show and everything that came with it continued. That's a wrap for now on Reality Nexus X. Thanks for sticking with me. Always a pleasure having you here. I'm Elena. Go easy, stay curious, and ta-ta for now.